En 4K.
Um,
How you been, bro? How's everything? How's life? What you been up to?
I've been up to training my brains out, being at home with the baby.
Good. What do you got
Yeah.
going on?
Um,
The competition, sir.
oh snap!
Brother, haha. No, no, no. All right, let me
You
fix
did it
myself.
all.
The
Yeah, I'm very aggressively training for my competition at the end of April 26th. So
April 26th. We're at
it'll be a native. No,
where?
it'll be a native. No,
Natick. Okay. Are you looking for a professional card yet or no?
I don't know. It'll be my first
No.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to drop probably two weight classes, and my bench has to go up probably 100 pounds before I'm in that conversation. So um, I'll like after this comp, I'll be aggressively kind of act like working towards those because I was like when I started, I was probably like 10 pounds off from 275. It would either be 275 or 244 that I would have to beat at. So I was like, all right, I'd rather just eat like hell in bulk.
Yeah.
And then I like overshot it, so I hit like 285, 282, and then I was like, all right, I'm snoring again. So I need to fix a little bit as far as my dieting. So like now, I'm kind of at the point where I should be in a better place to after the comp be able to just take the summer to cut and refine some of my
Okay.
game. Like I
Are
have
you
a
on your phone or are you on a laptop right now? Sorry. Okay.
laptop.
Okay. If you're on a table, move it up a little more so I can hear the microphone.
Oh, I got you. Hold up. You
Like
are
I
me.
can hear you. I just there's certain times where it cuts out.
Oh, I got it. There's also them both blasting as loud as possibly can be in the background. So, all
No, 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 because I already set it up to where the background noise don't matter. So
right, bet. So yeah,
uh, that's awesome, bro. I'm glad you're locked in. I'm glad you're having fun with it too. It's huge.
yeah,
And
I'll probably
yeah,
have
like
to.
you said, bro, that snoring stuff is no
Ah,
it's
bro.
no joke. No, for real, brother, because I remember right now I'm the heaviest I've ever been, 260. And
Uh,
like, I know it because when I lay on my back, that's when I start snoring.
hell
And
yeah.
at that point, it's like, mm-mm, this no bueno, brother. And then January, I don't know if you did it with your congregation, the 21-day Daniel fast. Um,
Yeah, a lot of people did it. I took time off of social media um, because I felt like I would kind of cheat myself on
yeah,
the on the
yeah,
fasting because last year I was like pretty aggressively dieting. So
yeah,
I was like, oh, I can kind of work around it, and then I was like, okay, what's actually gonna burn? So
right. No,
so I
there's
built a reluctancy towards taking time off of like creating content and stuff like that. I was like, all right.
yeah. So that's basically what I've been doing, every year, and that's the only thing I pray for every year is like just having a better relationship with food. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
that's literally all I pray for. That and I read the books. Um and I feel it now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's actual shift and all that stuff, which is awesome.
Mm.
Which is awesome. But no, I appreciate the heck out of you, bro, taking the time, you know what I'm saying? Me and Josh preface me and Josh are just basically it's talent development. You know what I'm saying? Talent development here in Western Mass area. I'm harping Western Mass, Western Mass. My brain right now is if a company like Google or Apple or Microsoft came to Western Mass, we wouldn't have the leadership necessary, um, the talent pool, anything to even be able to fill a minuscule. You know what I'm saying? It's a 5,000 person company. We wouldn't be able to fill in like 3% of that. That's statistically proven. Why? Because again, we need talent development, we need leadership development. So basically, what I want to get out of these conversations, which is the same thing that I hope from you, um, because I do see you as a leader, you know what I'm saying? Not just content, blah, blah, blah. That's the cool stuff, that's the shiny stuff, you know what I'm saying? But the stuff that's behind the doors, um the work that you have to put in, the countless hours. Again, leadership is lonely. You know what I'm saying? We always got to use Moses. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I use Moses as a good example because poor guy was up on the mountain by himself, came down by himself. They were like, "Oh, that's cute." And then when he went back up the mountain by himself, they're like, "You're better off staying up there, bud."
Sure.
And it's like, hold on. The first time around you welcome me, the next time you're not. Interesting. Um, but that's just one example of the many, you know what I'm saying, of leadership. And I'm sure with you in this in the health space, you know what I'm saying, trying to set yourself apart from other folks, you know, whatever, it's added value. You know, I'm sure that's what you see with a lot of folks. Oh wow, you know, you're a vibrant, exuberant young man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
People are excited to work with you.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and I've seen you grow through the years and whatnot, and you know, the church, similar background to myself. The church, then you kind of had to do your own thing, then you got back to it. You're taking care of business even more now, which is phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Unlike myself, I wholeheartedly admit it. I don't want no leadership right now in any congregation. You know what I'm saying? I'm just working to make sure my folks here in Western Mass are in a better spot. So with that being said, what do you want to get out of this conversation? Because it is a give and take regardless.
Yeah. Whatever you got to give. I feel like, obviously, in the case of my leadership development, as devoted as I was throughout the years of leading in church and in the congregational setting, obviously I find myself in a different place now that I'm not like the guy when it comes to youth ministry and next gen and stuff like that I was doing. Um, so I think that I've definitely tried to make good use of like applying what I learned at that point. You know what I mean? To like what I do now, because there's obviously some self leadership portions that I have to do for myself to like run the business, and then I have to lead these people to an end goal that they don't necessarily see when they come in. Be it that I work in weight loss, it's not as geeky and as nerdy as it is in my own training. It's not like, but I didn't make that mistake coming in. I wasn't. I understood that this was my business, and that I would progress people to other things as time went on. So yeah, you come in, you want to lose 20 pounds. We talk about what that would mean to you, but once that weight is done, they're going to move to something else. And their programming advances, and the periodization advances, things like that. So you kind of lead them into a place where they have no idea where they're going. all they have is your word that you'll take them there, and the testimonies of the other people that have been
Yes.
down that road.
Yes.
So I think in my position, um, I'm still like on the cusp of you know getting to my goal of 120 sessions a week. That's really where I want to be. At that point, I probably need help, like a lot of help, and that's been something that's worrisome for me, is bringing other people in on. Um, but as like if it works out to how I want with world domination of the personal trainer industry, I'm going to need to have other people and trust them.
Amen.
So I don't know. I guess in my personal, like, I'm kind of okay right now having it all on my back. I understand that it's going to have to move off my back at some points. I'm going to have to trust. And I'm kind of dealing with like the failure of that happening when I was the top guy when it comes to youth, pretty much almost being a youth pastor at that point. And, having to remove myself from that position. I'm kind of worried that it'll go not right again. Uh, so I guess that's where I'm dealing. That's where I'm at right now. Is
That's awesome.
I don't think I had the character and the EQ to maintain that at that point. And if I want this to go where I want it to go, like I'm going to need to get some of that. You know.
Amen. Amen. Um, that's awesome. That's awesome that you pointed out again, you know, personal experiences, past experiences, you know, because again, the road to leadership is a very lonely job, even if you have folks with you that you do trust, you know, folks fall away, blah blah blah. Neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? That'll always be the biggest portion for us as folks that are trying to help folks out. Um, a firm understanding that, yeah, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and nothing is new under the sun, you know, so never take anything personal. never take anything personal. Just know that that is a reflection of that person. It's not a reflection of you in any way, shape, or form. That's awesome. That's an awesome lesson to learn early. Folks pay money to go through that. You know what I'm saying? You got the sauce for free.
Tears.
Yeah, yeah, the blood, sweat, and tears. Um, so next question. What does leadership mean to you?
Leadership for me is influence. Um, I think in my own experience, I grew in that without having the position. In a lot of cases, I just had the influence. I had the buy-in from the people around me. I had their trust. So for me, that's that. Um, Whether in the church context or in this context, it's influence. The more that I can influence them, the more that I can have their trust, the more that I can have their go. You know, the more I can steer the ship. you know.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's good. That's good. What qualities do you believe make a great leader? We know there is no silver bullet. Let's start there.
No,
But what do you feel like?
yeah,
Right.
there's a seven. Yeah, I would say empathy. It's very difficult to lead people when you don't understand the shoes that they're in. And I think that's what keeps me in my bag when it comes to the work that I do. Or when it came to leading in youth ministry, I think that's what made me a good preacher. It made me a good communicator in a lot of ways because I was in the shoes of the people that I was trying to lead. That's not the case with everybody, but you know that's where empathy would come in. And I think that's really the test is when you have to lead people that are kind of different than you. Um, but I think empathy would be important. Um, some case of like personal development, like some strong desire to become better. I think is another defining quality of a leader. Um, Especially when I was kind of growing in my communication, I just didn't want to be the kid who was like, "Man, you should have heard John 10 years ago. Man, he sure was good." No, like I wanted to get better and better. That every time I had to communicate something, I was further developing. And I think that was something that mentorship taught me. My mentors being around and being like, "Hey, like you gotta invest in your gift, bro. Like you just can't have 20 years of experience repeating the same year 20 times, homie. Like you gotta get better, you know."
Yes.
Um, so I think empathy, personal development, self leadership. Obviously, you got to kind of lead yourself. And I think I have more lessons in failure in that department. You know what I mean? Keeping my brain and my emotions under where they need to be. But I think that's an essential quality. You know, and there's a million more. But if you can put yourself in the shoes of the people that are around you, you can continue to develop yourself and learn, remain humble, stay low, um, and keep yourself, in the pocket with self leadership. I think that's good qualities. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, especially with the professional, the self, developing self awareness, learning from those, having a mentor already. Some folks have already been there, done that. That's huge. That's huge. Again, and when we do have these conversations, like what's a great leader, what sets us apart from the folks that, are the humdrum, the ones that are doing it day in and day out already. Again, added value, empathy, 100%, bro. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Conviction. I
Right.
think that at least in this space, that's what helps me. Is that I can call people out on their bullcrap because that was the bullcrap that I gave myself. And so I don't know. I have people like that all the time. They'll come in 300-400 pounds and oh no, I don't need anything. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, so how about this? Oh, how about that? Oh yeah. And I'm like, okay. You know why? Because I was that way. I was a secret eater. I know what it is to consume massive amounts of food. And when people ask you, say, oh no, I just drink coffee in the morning. Like I know what you eat, dude. You know,
Right.
it's apparent. But I think if you have conviction like that, you can tell people things nobody else will tell them, and I think that's a market tradable leader.
Yes. Yes. So that's you brought up an interesting point, you know what I'm saying, especially with the empathy side. Um, do you feel it's necessary as a leader to be somebody who had to have been there, done that to lead folks, or do you think people can learn um to lead with empathy still, you know what I'm saying? And I use it in a very because what we see, you know what I'm saying? Our leaders are white Caucasian males, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunate at this point.
Yeah,
And the entire point of this, again, Western Mass, diversity, building up what we are doing already, you know, like
yeah,
finding those folks that have already been in the weeds that are taking care of business, and helping develop them. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like you
yeah.
have to be?
I
Go.
think you could lead. Think you can lead in areas without prior experience. Um, like there's a couple areas that you see that biblically. Jesus speaking about marriage not being married. Um, Jesus speaking about sin not having committed sin. You know, there's areas like that. And then I think as leadership as like the nature versus nurture argument towards it, like whether you're born or developed. I think there's certain cards that you have that you play into. You
Yes.
know, and then there's certain there's game that you learn as you go. So I think that that's important because it's the same thing with any skill. I wasn't raised in home improvements, but when I had to go sell home improvements, I understood sales and I understood people, so I brought the skill. I wasn't raised selling cars, but when I had to go sell cars, I brought the skill, and so you bring the skill to whatever environment, and I think that's a big thing in any sector. Some of the people at the top are people who don't necessarily have experience in the trade, but they still have to lead, and they have the skill to lead, and that's why they bring them in.
Amen. Amen.
That's like
Amen. Last question. How do you inspire and motivate others? Like, what is your leadership style? Yeah, what is your leadership style?
I think it's definitely changed over the years.
Johnny, no, me desconectado, brother. Me dejó. Johnny me dejó.
All right, bet. I'm here. Sorry. Uh, like I said, in the middle of the gym. Um, so I think my leadership style. There was a leadership style that really touched me when I was developing my leadership gift, which is like servant leadership. I think that's a biblical model. The greatest among you shall be your servant. The Son of Man came to serve, not to be served. And I think that place of humility will put you with anybody, and you'll be able to seek to understand before you want to be understood, and that's how you win. So I think that would be my style. As much as you have to be confrontational, as much as you have to at times set the record straight, lay down the law, you can do it from a place of humility, and I think that's how you always win. So for me, it would be more that it's more serving. I want to outserve my people every time. I want to lead from the front. I think that that's probably the most important part for me. Um, and not only did I learn that, I guess, from the biblical point of view, but you learn that from dealing with people who aren't like that. They're very self-seeking. They just want it all for themselves, and you're like, oh snap! All right, like this is how I don't want to be. You know, and I think that there's something to be said about that, is you kind of develop a little bit of a taste for how you want it based on what you experience that you don't want to have to go
Right,
through over again.
right, right. And that's the balancing act, you know what I'm saying? Because folks use the word servant, and automatically think that you're below who you're working with. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I paid you $20, I own you now. It's like, have to hold on. It's a service. You know what I'm saying? No, absolutely not. You know, and that's definitely something that needs to be built. Building those boundaries and whatnot. And yeah, servant leadership, absolutely. I would challenge you, and this is totally not part of anything, but I
Oh, you're
would challenge you. There was a book in MLN, Concepts of Leadership, and yes, of course, burnout, you know what I'm saying? Burnout just happens. But it
good.
happens more so with the servant leader that has not been able to create those boundaries for themselves.
Yeah.
Um, It happened to me, you know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I'm reflecting on it so hard. You know, it happens to everybody because people see you as the yes man, even though you're just trying to do the right thing, be integral.
Yeah.
They know that you're integral and you're not trying to be shisty. So they take all sorts of angles to try to get at you. So please keep that in mind
Thank you.
as you move forward and do better. Um, so selfless plug, bro. You know, what's the name of the company? What's the name of the group that you're trying to build? That you're trying to continue the services you're trying to bring to Western Mass and beyond? How are you feeling at this point? Again, it's always a two-pronged question.
Yeah.
What are you doing, and how are you feeling at this point?
Yeah. So I've kept my personal training practice pretty much private up till now, which I really appreciate. Um, I've I've tinkered at this point with running ads because I'm like the only one within my competitors that does it. Like my direct competitors who deal with women mainly losing 20 pounds, weight loss clients like that. So um, my ad account is called Inspire Personal Training. Um, when I
Good,
launch my business, it will probably be called that.
inspired.
Inspire.
Okay.
I think that's important to me, the mystery of inspiration, um, and understanding what causes people to act and take action. You know, one of the biggest questions I ask people is, what makes now the time? You know, you try to lose weight all this time. You try to do this, you try to do that. What makes now? Why are you here with me now? You know, and in every conversation I have with my clients, I look for the twinkle in their eye. You know, that's important. There's a goal and there's a goal behind the goal. I always say. So that's what I'm focusing myself on now. Is bringing my client list and my weekly sessions up to where I'd like it to be, to then have more of a public launch. Um, Inspire personal training, man. I mean, that's something I can talk about without ever getting tired, and it's work that I could do without. You know, I've done it for free. I don't do it for free anymore, thank God. It's my full time. It's my full time career.
Amen.
It's my business, but that's what I do now. That'll be the business name, Inspire Personal Training. Like I said, at this point, I'm up to 50, 45, 50 weekly sessions. My goal is to get to about 120, 150
Yes.
alone, hopefully, unless I go crazy. And then money to be made, my boy.
Yes.
But there's people to help. And I think that that's the more rewarding portion. Obviously, I found something that I'm passionate about that I can make a living from. So that's what it is.
And I'm sure, hopefully, whichever gym you're partnered with is taking care of you as well.
Oh, these guys are great. Built Bodies has been phenomenal. The owners have been nothing but great with me. I mean, they definitely anything I need. I mean, they've been there for me. I call Javi the owner. He's one of my training partners. Really, I mean, we work out frequently, so they just push me to be better. And I mean, that's helped in the powerlifting, obviously. Being around ridiculously strong people has helped me. And we'll see where that goes. I think in my weight class now, if I compete tomorrow, I'll probably be like 5,000th in the world for drug tested
Okay.
athletes. So I'll be relatively up there in the
Yes.
mass population. But like I said, I want to go down a couple weight classes and be at 220 roughly and go for it all. I mean,
Nice. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. No, I appreciate that, God, your time, bro. Keep up the great work. Like I said, it just 5-minute conversation. Yes, 100%, and this is on the record. This is for marketing material, you know.
Go with it.
Folks will be all platforms, of course, you know, share as you please. It's yours as well. I'll also put this on the YouTube channel, links, who's it's, whatnots, blase blase. Of course, you know, whatever you want to use, please use it. If you have somebody who edits it yourself, please use it. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel no types of ways about it.
I won't. Happily.
Good, good, good. Love you. Keep up the great work, bro. You're growing. Keep taking care of business. Our plug, you know what I'm saying? For now, it's Tuesday nights, 5:30 to 7. We're gonna eventually grow to Thursdays, but right now we just want to focus on the leaders. I do see you as a leader. I see you as somebody who's already been taking the reins for a long time now, taking the licks, hit the bumps, blase, you know what I'm saying? But again, bro, just keep up the good work. It's a long road, it's lonely as hell, but it's stuff that needs to be done, you know.
True.
All
If
right.
not us, then who, my boy? I love you.
Have a good night, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you.